Well, last time I was here, I said there was going to be a quiz. Today, we're going to do an in-class assignment. So I'm going to talk about storytelling as well, and I'm going to weave in what we've already started with. So I'm going to start with a question. Also, I like interactivity, and I walk around a lot. I'm really loud and make a lot of noises. I don't really do that. I'm just kidding. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and I need your feedback. I'm going to say shoes, and I want you to tell me, without thinking quickly, what's your favorite shoe brand? All right. How about your favorite sports team? How about your favorite social media platform? Facebook. Oh my gosh, look at you. Favorite musician or band or group? Don't really have one. Come on, you got to get out the fence, my friend. You got to get it. How about, let's see, what another good one would be. So, why did you don't have to answer out loud, but I want you to think about why you chose what you chose. It's really important. Shoe brand. We talked about automobile. We talked about clothing, about musicians, about social media platforms. There's some reason that you chose that. And a lot of times the reason you choose things, well, most all the time you choose things is because there's a story behind it. That's why branding is so critical. That's why your story. That's why I can throw out symbols. I can say names, and you instantly associate. If I just showed you the picture of an apple, just an apple, like a red apple or a green apple, your brain immediately is going to go to an iPhone or a MacBook, right? Why? Because you've been programmed to think and react to a brand based on that. And so what makes you follow them and trust them is the story. And so why that's important is because long after you and what you're creating has been displayed, they will forget your name, but they won't forget your brand. Unless you are your brand, in which the case, that's cool too. But if you think about some of the key people, like I was thinking about one, Zappos, the shoe brand. Do you know what's distinctive about Zappos? Maybe not. Is they give away free shoes. If you order their shoes, then they give away free shoes to people. I'm like, that's kind of cool. I have no idea who the guy is that created that. I know it's a guy, that's all I know. But I thought that's a pretty cool idea. I know that Bounty is the quicker picker-upper. That's all I know. I don't know anything else. I don't know who makes it. I don't know whose idea it was. I just know that Bounty is the quicker picker-upper. I don't even know what that means most of the time, except this green stuff gets going on the table and somebody scoops it up and they use a junky paper towel. Why is that important? Because it's a brand. It's something that you can associate with. In business, facts tell, stories sell. And your story is going to be central to what you're going to do. Maybe there's a shoe brand that you like because somehow you associate that shoe brand with success, with running faster, jumping higher, something like that. You like a certain artist because of the story that their songs tell. There's something that they do musically that really inspires you. There's an author or a painter, you like the way they write, you like the way that they draw, you like a creative person that you follow online, you like the way they do things. A car brand because of its style, because of what it says, prestige, right? There's a certain car brand, you think, well, if I got that brand, I'm successful. It says something about you. So selling a product or service, selling your service is important because your real goal is to connect people to your story. And we're going to talk about that, and that's what we're going to work on tonight. A business storyline is the story that helps your business be successful. And the last time we talked about entrepreneurship, we started that discussion. A lot of you shared ideas that you have that you're working on, which is awesome. And then again, that's why I mentioned the video online. I'm going to introduce an idea to you. I'm going to go over it a number of times, and then we're going to write it. We're going to work on it together because I want you to start ingraining this in your brain because it's going to help you tell your story of your brand. It's going to help you differentiate who you are, what you're selling, and why you're doing it. I want you to think about your favorite movie. You don't have to say it out loud. Just think about your favorite movie. I bet your favorite movie has a hero. Who's the hero in your favorite movie? Think about it. Who is it? Who's the main character? It's the hero. The main character in your story is a hero, and guess what they have? A problem. It's a boy problem. It's a girl problem. It's a money problem. It's a success problem. It's a failure problem. There's a problem that they face, something they have to overcome. And they go through this drama, and then all of a sudden somebody shows up and they help them. They tell them that there's a different way. There's a path they should take, a different story, a different thing that they should think about. That's the hero. Then the hero, that's the guide. Then the hero listens to the guide and they think, I have to make a choice. I can either not do this and bad things will happen, or I can do this. I'm not really sure if good things will happen, but I know it's better than the bad thing. So in your movie, in your favorite movie, you're thinking about the movie, you're thinking, oh yeah, you're right, this character, he had to do this. Oh yeah, he had to fight this bad person or whatever. And then they had to take action. And then there was an outcome. Hopefully it's positive. Most movies still end with positive outcomes. So I want you to think about your story. And I want you to think about the person that you are going to be serving with your business. The customer is the hero. You are not the hero in your story. Your customer is. They have a problem, and we'll talk about that. You are the guide to show them the plan. You're going to take them to an action point, and you need to show them the consequences of them not choosing your product or service, and then you get to show them what really happens, what success looks like. So let me give you a silly analogy. Ready? Let's say your business idea is to help students pass math. Why'd I pick math? Math is hard. I'm going to tell myself too in just a minute. I didn't like math. I wasn't good at it. I took accounting in high school so I could bypass math. Then I got to college and I had to take this hardest math class I ever took called statistics. I'm just kidding, it was called statistics. The hardest math class I ever took in my life in order to graduate college, and I did so bad that I went to junior college and took it so I could get more credit hours and transfer them back to university so I could graduate. Whew, but it worked. I was resourceful. Okay, so let's say you're trying to help math students. You're not the hero. In the math, you have a math business. Who's the hero? Say it louder. All right, the student who's struggling, right? That's the that's your hero. Your tutoring service that you offer is the plan. You're the guide. This service that you're providing, the product that you have, is the guide that's going to help them. And then you call them to action. You need to sign up for my tutoring service. And then you paint the best picture. If you do my tutoring service, you're going to have good grades. You're going to score really high in your SAT. And people are going to love you. You're going to be the math champion. Yay! Okay, probably not all that, but anyway. But then you got to tell them the consequences. What happens if you don't take my really cool math tutoring business plan? Well, you're probably not going to do good on your SATs, and something else will happen. But you have to paint the picture. So let me break it down. Let's talk about it together. I'm going to walk through an example, and then I'm going to have you do it based on your business plan or your idea. So I'm going to walk you through this process, and then we're going to do it together because I want it to start stirring what's going on inside, putting the pieces together so that you can have a plan. If you have a business plan, great. I know some of you already have because I've read your stuff. I know you have one. I think you two have one for sure. I know because I read your deal. But does everybody have an idea? At least an idea? At least an idea? Yeah? Yeah? Me? Okay. Idea, I know you do. You have an idea? Awesome, you have ideas. Good. We're going to use that. Even if it's not a great idea, you don't think, go with what you have. And we're going to put this into place. You're going to see how this process works, okay? You may not know all the answers. That's okay. You don't have to know all the answers, but you have to write some things down in just a minute. So we're going to start with the problem. What's the problem? What's frustrating? What's frustrating to you? What's frustrating to your potential client? What's frustrating to them? What's broken? What's missing from your audience? That's part of the reason that you're doing what you're doing. It's the reason that you're starting your business. It's to address an issue. There's something in the marketplace that's not there. There's not good jewelry. There's not good T-shirts. There's not really cool, I know the acronym, forgot it just off the top of my head, the acronym for your business, right? It's an acronym. HELP, H-E-L-P, right? So it solves a problem. Yours is easy because it solves a problem, right? It's a pain. We'll talk about it in a minute. But what's missing? There's a reason that you're starting this business, and you want to get your head around that. Why am I doing this? People buy typically for two reasons. This is so important. People buy things for two reasons. Everything you do is based on one of two reasons. Does anybody have any idea what those two reasons are? Anybody? Say it again loud. Very close. Pleasure, you're moving towards pleasure, or you're moving away from pain. Always. One of those two reasons are the reasons that people are going to buy your stuff. They're going to do math because they are not good at math and they don't want to look silly and they want to pass their SATs. They eat too much, they need to lose weight. You have a great program for that. When you do, let me know, because I'm always in need of something good like that. They don't know how to fix it. They want to avoid pain. They've tried it on their own, or they know there's a problem, or you've helped them to see and identify a problem. They just don't know how to fix it. And your answer, your product, your idea is the solution. Maybe it's the fear of missing out. Man, if I don't have one of those cool bears, if I don't have one of those cool t-shirts, I'm not going to be cool. Or whatever word you guys use now for being cool. Or hip, right? Whatever that is. So whatever that is, sometimes fear of missing out. They don't want to be left out. They don't want to seem like the outsider. The one person who doesn't have it, right? Everybody's cool who has this type of thing. But they don't. So they do that. Or pleasure. The way it'll make them feel. Oh, I get a new purse. I get a new pair of shoes. I got Nikes because I love them. These aren't Nikes. But, right, I do love a pair of Nikes. So why do you wear a certain brand? Why do you have a certain thing? Why do you wear your hair a certain way? Why do you wear the clothes that you do, the jewelry that you have? It's the perception sometimes that others have of themselves by doing whatever that is. And so there's a problem. And part of what your solution, not part of, the solution that you provide is addressing one of those issues. So you want to know what that is. Now the guide, why you? Why you? What happened in your life, in your story, that made you want to solve that problem? Why do you want to help people with math? Okay, that's probably not your thing, but insert your thing. Why do you want to help them? Why do you want to make t-shirts? Why do you want to make jewelry? Why do you want to make the things you do? Why do you want to do HELP, right? Why do you want to do that? What's your story? Why is that important to you? What is your why? If you're not sure, one of the things in the course that's online is helping you to understand your why. Really the beginning of the entrepreneur course is a series on why, and there's some worksheets in there online that'll help you to do that. What do you understand that others don't? Maybe you see things a certain way that others don't see. Based on your story, you see the problem and the solution differently than other people. You provide the answer. Maybe it's not the solution for everybody, but it's a solution for a small group of people. Remember, I think if we talked about this last time, Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton has a great strategy. Super expensive purses, but they have a strategy. Scarcity. Well, I told you about that last time. Scarcity. They release a certain model, limited run, and they jack up the price on a purse. I know that's like, you probably want to throw water at me, but if you like purses, that's your thing. But they jack up the price, and they'll put a few in certain stores because they're trying to do scarcity, gets you quick, right? So maybe it's not for everybody. You're not designing what you're designing for everybody, but just for a small group of people. Riches are in the niches. Riches are in the niches. It's an amazing number of stories of entrepreneurs who made tremendous amount of wealth because they found a target area and they kept going further and further and further down. And they narrowed it down to a small group of people who their message resonated with, and they made millions of dollars. There's no reason you cannot be that person, but you have to know your story and what you're telling. Maybe your math isn't for everybody. It's for ninth graders who are struggling with Algebra 1. Maybe it's for seniors who are struggling with geometry. Hey, wait, aren't you supposed to take geometry as a 10th grader? Guess who took geometry as a senior? Oh, good, I'm the only one. Whew. You see why I hated math. We aren't going for perfection. We're going towards a goal. You're not always going to have it all figured out, but you want to go towards something. All right. So now you have to have a plan. Your product or service is a step-by-step solution. Why is your way, your product, your strategy the solution that they need? Why? Well, you can solve math problems 10 times faster with this strategy. That's a good reason. Your jewelry makes you the center of attention, and others want to talk to you, and they like you because they look super cool. Your t-shirt design is awesome and unique. Your kit helps people feel better about themselves. Maybe you do video editing or something else, some other type of creation, and the way you craft and design videos or images, they bring things to life in a way that they hadn't imagined before. People have never seen videos edited or the creative eye that you have for filming things the way that you do. And so it makes it stand out. So your plan resonates with people and stands out. Why? But then guess what you got to do? And if you're going to make any money, you have to invite them into your story, right? There's a call to action. CTA, you have to tell them they need to buy, they need to click, they need to try. Whatever your business is trying to solve, your story's leading them down a journey that says, buy. Because this is going to solve that problem, bring that pain further away. It's going to bring you a lot of joy and happiness. Whatever you're asking people to do, buy your product, subscribe to your service, join your club, whatever it is, and then the result. Paint the picture. What happens if they do what you do? If you do my math strategy, you're going to do problems 10 times faster. Your math scores are going to go up. Your SAT scores are going to go through the roof. ACT, every school in the country is going to want you because you're a math genius. If you wear this shirt, people are going to notice you. It's going to make you happy. Oh, yeah, it'll be cool. People like, get this hygiene kit. They're going to feel a certain way. Your video edits, your creative eye in telling a story through video or film or whatever you're doing makes you go viral 10 times faster, right? They need to hire you to do this because you know how to do it better than anybody, or you have a way of doing it that's so unique. And then you show them case studies on what that looks like. So I'm going to tell you a secret. About a year ago, I pivoted. I'm really old, so I have to quit doing that. Last pivot of my life, I think, maybe. But I decided to do something completely different a year-ish ago. And I came up with this idea, and so I am telling myself things that I'm telling you things that I've told myself. So I'm going to tell you a story. There's a program called Career and Workforce Readiness because I believe that schools teach subjects and someone needs to teach people how to be successful in their careers. The problem is that schools do not prepare adequately, I believe, students with the necessary skills to help them be long-term successful in the workplace once they graduate from high school, once they graduate from college, so that they can thrive. I've seen so many students who waste years trying to figure out their careers. Their parents are pouring in dollars. They're wasting years of their life, and it's costing them tons of money, and they're still not prepared because they don't know what they want to do. They don't know where they're going. They don't have a plan. And schools aren't teaching them the important skills like work ethic, communication, time management, money management, and how to help them succeed. So they come out of school or college not as prepared as they need to be to face the challenges of the workplace. But guess what? What if there was a career shortcut? That'd be kind of cool, right? If there was a way that you could learn to go ahead of the pack faster and learn these things quicker, what if we could teach you faster a way to be successful? In just a few weeks, prepare you way further ahead than these people coming out of college ever would be. We know exactly what employers are looking for. We've done thousands of consultations with individuals, and in businesses, knowing what they struggle with, knowing what the employer problems are dealing with employees, so that you can stop guessing. It's not a guess. We can tell you exactly how to fix it. We can teach you exactly what you need to know so that you can be successful. You can join a program that's going to help you be successful so you don't have to struggle for years, costing you and your family thousands of dollars, years of time, that you could waste. You could be like Kylie. She's 19 years old. She thought to herself, I didn't think, she graduated from high school. She thought, I didn't think that I could get a job in a business environment until I was like in my 20s. I had more experience. But then she went to this training and she got done. And not only did she feel like she could get a job right away, she thought, you know what? I really wanted to be a nurse. I should look at going to school to become a nurse. So what will you do? See the elements? That's my story. That's what I'm doing. Doing just like you. I tell story. I tell people who the hero is. I tell them what the problem is. Make sure they understand it in a way that makes sense. I show them that there's a solution. And if they don't do this, there's a huge cost. And they have a choice. They can do it the way everybody else does it, or they can take a shortcut. So that's what they do. So, with that said, I hope you brought a pen, because I only have 5, and there's a lot more than you than 5. So, everybody have a pen or something to write on? Number 1 rule of business, entrepreneurship, bring a pen, because you'll never know what you're going to face. We used to joke and say, you're only a good salesman if you bring a pen. Only good salesmen have pens. Or saleswomen. You have a pen. Good job. You got a pen. Good job. I'm going to walk through this with you. We're only going to take a few minutes to do this. You have a pen. There's 2 there. There you go. Homework. Just kidding. This is in-class assignments. Right? That's the best kind, because you can copy off your neighbor's paper. You need a pen? Yeah. I got one right here. If one of these doesn't work, you can use the other one. All right. If you want to do this, you know what? I'll send this to you again. I'll send this to you, or to the email that we have online. So let's walk through this together real quick. But I want you to write something. Every blank needs to have something written in it. Okay? Every blank, I want you to write something in there. Even if you aren't sure. Even if you have to guess. Even if you're going to make it up. I'm not going to read your answers, but I want you to write it down because I want you to think about it. So, think about your business storyline. A business storyline, I already told you. Number 1, what is the main problem that your customer faces? If you don't know, you need to find out. Think to yourself, what's frustrating, what's confusing, what's missing from their life. The idea is to equate your idea with the problem. Because remember, you're either going towards pain, away from pain, or towards pleasure. So what's the problem that your customers face? And if you don't know, right, I don't know yet. I don't know yet. But guess where you start? There. Because if you don't know what the problem is, how do you answer it? So start with that. So I use the example of a math tutor. So I'm going to create a business to help people learn math, which is hysterical, which based on what I just told you is I'm terrible at math. So that'd be the worst business proposal on the planet for me to teach anybody math. Unless they're like up to like 5th grade, then I'd probably be in trouble. So whatever you're creating, the person that you want to sell that to, if it's a product, who you're selling it to. If it's a service, who are the people that are going to be taking advantage of that service and using it? Those are the people you're going to be selling to. That's your customer. All right, let's go. I see a lot of you gone to the second one. If you're still on the first one, it's okay. We'll come back. I know some of you gone a little bit further. That's okay. Why are you the right person to solve that problem? And that's your unique proposition. That's your unique thing. 500 people could be doing the exact same thing, but yours is different because your story is different than everybody else's. I'm the best math tutor because why? I'm terrible at math, so I had to find shortcuts to help me. That's probably my angle, right? What's yours? You like to you guys over there that are creative with doing your thing. Why? What is it that why are you the right person to solve their problem? It makes sense? Some of you are flying through this. That's good. You guys getting it. That's good. See, that's the idea. It's starting to get your creativity thinking. It's okay if you don't know all the answers. You haven't thought through all of it. This is the starting point. I introduce something new to you, a thought process that's new. And so it's just to get your creative mind thinking. I'm going to move on to number 3 because I see some of you are already there. And if you're not there, that's okay. We can come back. We can talk afterwards too. Think about your product or service that you're offering and how does it help or solve their problem. That unique, specific group, how is it solving their problem? Again, it may not solve everybody's problem. Like my product isn't for everybody. It's designed for people who are 16 to 24 years old. So I'm not trying to solve everybody's problem who doesn't have a job or who's not successful at work or graduated from college or high school or got out of the military, don't know what to do. It's not for everybody, but it's only for a small group of people. So I have a targeted small audience. Maybe that's you. Number 4 is really easy. That should be pretty. Number 4 on the back, it should be pretty easy. What do you want them to do after they hear your story? Well, you want them to buy whatever it is you're selling. But think about it. How does that look? Are they buying a subscription? Is it a one-time purchase? Are they buying into a club and you're going to provide something to them regularly? What is that process? Okay, flip it over, and then the call to action I already talked about. Now, this one will probably take you a few minutes to think about. What does success look like for your customer? How will their life be better? That's really important because that will probably help drive later your marketing. It'll help you kind of put some pieces together and think about marketing. What does success look like if they buy your product or your service? What does success look like? Success in my program looks like that they're hired faster, they're better employees, they're going to get promoted quicker, they're not going to struggle because they're going to have an idea what they want. I'm teaching this to a group of people that are in an IT apprenticeship program. And so what we talked about last week in that group was their IT career. What does it look like? Because a lot of them want to do cybersecurity. Some of them want to do web development. They have all kinds of ideas. But it's to give them an idea of the trajectory that they're going in their careers. That's the idea. So that's what some of the benefits for the people that are going to complete our program will have. So what does success look like for your customer? Good news. This is only your first draft. You'll go through this a few more times. And every time you go through it, you'll get a little more clear. Your product or service will change a little bit maybe. Become more specific. Who your target audience is. The message. How they'll be quote unquote successful may change. What that looks like. The vision of what you're selling may change. Get better. Get more refined. That's good. It helps you focus. Laser focus, right? Flashlight doesn't do anything, but if you concentrate that light, it'll cut through things. So the more focused and concentrated, the more powerful your business proposal and idea will be. The big, hairy, audacious goal. Now, the last thing on here says the final challenge to write or say your business story in 60 seconds or less. This is probably going to take you a few more minutes than you probably have time to do tonight, and that's okay. But work on that. Why do you want to work on that? That'll be important. And you want to record it, because I'm going to ask you to record it. Whether you share it with the world yet or not, you need to record it. You need to play it back. You need to listen to it. Why? Because that's what your customers are going to hear. You need to hear how you sound to your customer. Tell them what you're going to do. Tell them why they're going to do it, and listen to how it sounds. Because if it sounds, you may need to refine it. If it sounds compelling, share it with somebody. Hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing. What do you think of this? You get their feedback. Someone that loves you and likes you a lot. They're not going to be mean. That's a stupid idea. Just share it. All right. So take your time and work on that. The reason that's important is this. In business, there's something called an elevator pitch. It's about a 30-second elevator pitch. It's one of the things I teach. It's being able to tell your story, who you are, in business quickly. What are you good at? What do you like? What are your strengths? What are the things that you're really great at? What's your goals? Right? It's a quick synopsis about you. It's like a business card, but you tell it quickly. Your 60-second little story when people are like, hey, I have a chunk of money and I need to invest it in your business. Why? Like, why? Why? You got to tell me your story in 60 seconds, right? You need to be able to tell your story. Why are you making jewelry? Why do you want to make t-shirts? Why? Why do you want to do what you want to do? Why? Tell it quickly, because someone's like, oh, that's a really good idea. I got some money. I want to get behind that. So you want to be able to tell your story to other people. Hey, why are you spending all day Saturday? Why are you going to that thing on Wednesday night? Why? Why are you doing that? Why are you going to financial literacy? Why are you learning about all this stuff? Why? Now you tell them, because I have a product or an idea that's going to change this group of people, and I think it's awesome. It's going to make such a huge impact in their life. You start telling your story. Okay, we got a couple of minutes. Father Cook will put everybody on the spot. He'll make all y'all tell your stories. But if anybody wants to tell, love that. You're like, okay, everybody tell. But if you come up here, you're going to make them all tell their story, which is awesome. But before he gets up here and makes you all tell your story, I'm going to go, and I'm just going to start here, and I'm going to kind of like a sprinkler. I'm going to go really slow. And anybody want to share, I'm going to give you eye contact. I'm going to give you a chance to tell what you've been working on. I'm looking at you. All right. You don't have to. Good. I see you back there. You want to share? Oh, you're pointing someone out, calling someone out to share. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Let's hear it. You guys working together? Okay.
My idea is to help people who struggle with math, because what I realize, a lot of athletes and people, they usually don't have the best grades, especially in math, because they're too busy worried about playing sports and doing stuff outside of school. And I also realize that only 10% of the world is literate in math. So I want to help people out with math, because most people struggle in such a way that they're going to not have the proper career that they want, especially in ones that involve math. So my idea is to help tutor those people in sessions that don't take as long as an hour, because they always have the extra stuff they want to do outside of school.
So your focus is, your niche is athletes. Is that what I heard you say? You do, people who are in sports, or everybody? Everybody who's struggling. Oh, everybody's struggling. Okay, I thought you said athletes. So I thought you said athletes. That's cool. That's good. That's good. And then the positive outcome is they get jobs, confidence, all the good things. That's good. Yes, sir.
My idea is to at least make people happy and make people able to do things that weren't accessible to them, such as like people who are without a limb, a specific limb.
Yeah, so that's a specialized niche, and there's a lot of people who have those challenges. So that's good, and that, being able to niche down, like I talked about before, that audience or group of people is going to be specific, and they'll understand your cares and concern, and then the reasons why you want to help them is that becomes part of your story, and it helps solidify why your solution is going to help them. Yeah, it's good. Well, thank you. The sheet was really to help start getting your mind going, and hopefully it did that. If it frustrated you, that's okay. That frustration is like, okay, I got to figure this out. That's good. Take the time, think through the process, think through the steps, and you're going to do this more than once because it's going to help you refine that process. So that's all. Thank you. Take it in.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.